What's up, everybody? Hokley 93 in the place to be. Welcome to the Wrestling Corner, episode 17 of season 5. Yes, episode 17. Yeah, it's pretty interesting that, you know, two Wrestling Corners and not that far of a time span. The last corner I did was Saturday and now Tuesday. Uh, for those of you that watched that corner, you guys would have known, or you heard me say that the corner will probably not be on Mondays anymore. It'll probably move to Tuesdays, if not Wednesdays. But so far, it seems though it'll be Tuesday. Um, and like I said, and I think I said it on that corner, and if I didn't, then you know I would have liked it have been that I'll do the corner while TNA is on. But for those of you that know that, as I said in that we'll talk about in the last corner, that my interest for TNA has kind of basically waned to a all-time low, unfortunately. Um, but notwithstanding that, on this edition of the Wrestling Corner, I will be talking about which I feel we've been seeing the resurging momentum of one known as the Lunatic Fringe, the Intercontinental Champion, Dean Ambrose. And also in the spirit of Black History Month, I feel it's very apropos to talk about the very well-known and very highly discussed subject of a Black WWE Champion. And feel free, for those of you that are watching, feel free to ask questions, to add something else to the table besides those two topics. I have no problem if you ask a question on what's going currently on in wrestling, whether it be WWE, whether it be TNA. I probably not have that much to input to add to a TNA subject if it's very current, since currently I'm not watching TNA on a regular basis. NXT, heck, even independent or even Japan, you know. So yeah, feel free to do that. It's always good to add something to the table. And John, hey John, it's been a while. How's everything going, man? And as you also can see that in a span of Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, in a span of 3 days, I have a haircut. Not just a haircut, but also a clean shave. Today, a couple hours ago, before I came home, I got myself a haircut. Even though I was planning on getting a haircut, um, anyway, but also, but it just happened. It just happened to fall on an important day. Tomorrow, at my school, at my college, I'll be presented. I'll be a part of an event going on, and I was told to, basically, in a way, just look, just not really look my best, but just look a little bit, um, presentable. Not saying that I come in looking like, um, you know, trash or unpresentable, but but I'm going to be presented an award, so I'm going to be taking pictures um, with the school's president. So that's why you can see why it's important to basically dressing for the occasion, not too fancy and all, but I'm just gonna come in there and I'm just gonna be there for the event, probably just in what I usually wear for just um, kind of formal events or situations. Not really no suit or tuxedo, with my hair all gel, but just gotta look the part. And that's just a little bit of a little 411 um, basically what I'm going to be doing tomorrow in school. You know, and just by the way, I can't do the wrestling corner from school. Uh, I could, but I'll just run the risk of probably being interrupted by my friends or so. Like, oh, Michael, what are you doing there? Or, hey, get away from me, you know, something like that. But I think might as well just dive right into, you know, the subjects. Um, and that's one Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose has been a favorite with the fans for mostly his whole tenure in the WWE. Especially when the Shield disbanded or dissolved, however you want to put it, and him, Rollins, and Reigns, you know, they went their separate ways. Technically, Ambrose and Reigns didn't go their separate ways. You know, they're still a duo. They're just not on a regular basis. It's probably, I think people consider probably the best bromance in WWE's had in a while. But ever since the Shield dissolved and they all became singles wrestlers, Dean Ambrose has his momentum really went up, especially with his feud with Rollins, which I always felt made the both of them. I felt it was like the Rock and Triple H feud where it both helped. It both helped either guy because Rollins was in a situation to build credibility as a singles heel. Ambrose was in a situation to build credibility a as a singles, basically in a way, anti-hero. So both of them had to build that status by basically feeding off and making each other. That's one thing I liked about that feud, and that was one of the reasons. So, not just, but also the stuff that they did in that feud, which is why it was my feud of the year for 2014. I believe across the board it was others. It was people's. It was feud of the year. It was probably the most entertaining feud that WWE had in 2014. But yeah, from that point on, Dean Ambrose's momentum, you know, really skyrocketed. I will even go on to say that out of all three Shield members, when they disbanded, I think Dean was the most over. And in terms of being over as a heel for Rollins, you know, getting booed and you know the fans cheering your name because you know nowadays there's not that many heels that just get booed. There's not that many. It's pretty hard. It's pretty hard nowadays for you know um, a heel to just get nothing but boos. But it's not. But it's not like it's go away heat. No, it's just the crowd just showing how much they love to hate him by booing them, but booing him or her. Um, but I think yeah, Dean was the most over, and you know, I still feel he should have won the Hell in a Cell match against Seth Rollins. But from that point on, it was like this trend of like Dean, despite being over with the fans, out of the Shield members, he was the only one without a pay-per-view victory. Because in 2014, because in 2014, when they disbanded, he was in the Money in the Bank match. Seth Rollins won. Okay, Money in the Bank match. There's really no real loser. There's only really a winner because nobody gets is pinned or submits or disqualified or counted out. But then comes Battleground. Dean loses by, I think, default, but he still comes out and beats up Seth Rollins. Then SummerSlam, they have probably the best and most chaotic lumberjack match you'll ever see. Seth Rollins won that. Then Dean Ambrose, they had that Street Fighter or no disqualification match where he got curb stomped through the cinder blocks, and he lost that. I think Charles Robinson, he called the match off, but he gave the victory to Rollins. Then he came back Night of Champions. Then Hell in a Cell, he lost to Seth Rollins. And then the Survivor Series, he got himself disqualified against Bray Wyatt. And then in TLC, he lost to Bray Wyatt in the TLC match, which was the main event. And then he would go on to lose to Bray Wyatt in an ambulance match, I think on the first Raw of 2015. Even though that wasn't a pay-per-view match, but it was like, important match after important match, he kept on losing. Then comes the Royal Rumble. He doesn't win that. Okay. Fastlane, he gets himself disqualified in one of the most displeasing ways that really took the crowd with Wade when he went against Wade Barrett for the Intercontinental belt. Then WrestleMania, he doesn't win the Money in the Bank match. And it was for the money. It was Intercontinental belt. It was for Intercontinental. See, but it had the feeling of a Money in the Bank match because it used to be multiple guys in a ladder match. WrestleMania meant Money in the Bank. Then Extreme Rules, he finally got a win over Luke Harper. So he finally broke that. He finally got off the schneid. But it got to a point where it's like, I think despite him still retaining his overness, it was like, okay, he's kind of losing momentum. In a way, he's still losing momentum. Then, 2015 rolls around. Him and Reigns are feuding with the reformed Wyatt family. And then, then Survivor Series, Survivor Series comes around. He's in the main event with Reigns after beating Del Rio. Beating Kevin Owens. Reigns beat Del Rio in the tournament. He loses that, okay, but he's still in the main event. Then surprisingly, TLC, he won the Intercontinental belt, and still, I was not expecting for the title to change hands when Owens and Ambrose fought at TLC. And then Royal Rumble, just recently in Royal Rumble, he retained his belt in last man standing match. And I think I agreed with one review that said the performance that Ambrose, with the performance of Ambrose on the last man standing match, and then I think continuing to really sell the damage that he took in the last man standing match, but looked like a never say die fighter more than Reigns did. And I think that's what they was trying to go with Reigns, but it failed. I think it failed miserably. But with Ambrose, it really came. Yeah, he was a never say die fighter. And I think with that, and with his Intercontinental Championship reign, and all the other stuff, I think has really rebuilt his momentum to the point where, when he came out and got face to face with Brock Lesnar, I was like, hey, I would like to see a Brock Ambrose match more than Reigns and Lesnar too, despite the reason why I would like to see Reigns and Lesnar too, because it never ended with a winner or a loser between them two. But it's like, but I've never seen Ambrose and Lesnar, and since Ambrose got in his face and basically said, take me to Suplex City, you can do whatever you want. I know I'm going to get my ass whipped by you. I know you're going to destroy me, but it's not going to mean a damn. I'm still going to continue to fight. It's like, okay, I would like to see that story play out. And he got F5 by Brock at Raw's ending. It was like, okay. I was like, I would like to see it, Ambrose and Lesnar. And it's also to the point where it's like, Steph called Dean, Roman's sidekick. But it's like, it's funny that if he's a sidekick, then he's more over than, if he's like, Robin to Reigns' Batman, even though in some aspects Robin has grown to be more than a sidekick. But if that is the case, then Robin is more over than Batman. Dean is more over than Roman. The fans cater more to Dean than they do Roman. So it's to the point, naturally, if there was to be a heel turn between them, it would be Roman turning on Dean. And my friend, I have a friend in school named Darnell. We talk heavily about wrestling. He's one of the only few that talk with wrestling, and it's not just WWE. Basically, he's more than a casual fan. And he was like, for his prediction for the Royal WrestleMania, he could see Ambrose actually win the triple threat match at Fastlane, go on to face Triple H, but Reigns screws him and finally succumbs to Triple H's offer and basically sells out and is handed the WWE Championship, which will begin an Ambrose Reigns feud. And later on, Rollins will come in because he would be upset that, yeah, he's no longer, the authorities' go-to boy. And he basically realizes, he realizes what John Cena and everybody was trying to tell him, that, you're just almost like, for them, like the flavor of the month. Like, once you lose that belt, they're going to look to somebody else. And I guess that will lead to a Rollins face turn. But I think it's got to that point that Ambrose, his momentum is back to almost where it was in 2014 when he was feuding with Rollins. And I think WWE should capitalize on, because I think Ambrose has done a pretty good job. I think so far, I can say that his Intercontinental reign is better than his United States Championship reign, because United States Championship reign, they barely had him do anything. He mostly defended his belt on house shows. But house shows are not really part of canon in WWE. They, in terms of the in-ring storylines, they really don't matter. So, but so far as Intercontinental Champion, yeah. Okay. Okay, John, do you think WWE will use AJ better than TNA did? Well, you also got to put in consideration, AJ was in TNA for mostly their whole entire existence, basically for 10 years plus. So, and I don't know how long AJ Styles plans on wrestling. I think AJ is about 35, 36. So I don't know, like, what's the timeline before he, retires. I don't think he's retiring soon, though. But, you're basically saying, can WWE do what TNA, do better with TNA, when he comes to TNA in a shorter time frame? Do I think that AJ would be used in WWE better than he was in TNA? I'm starting now to be the type of person that, you should answer the question first before you go in. So to answer the question, do I think? I think it's too early to really put a real definitive answer on it. I think for me, it's just hopefully, because if you look at AJ's tenure in TNA, he was like their golden boy. He was the guy that it was like they'll put on almost like, so when you turn the channel, if you flip it through the channels, the first one you see AJ Styles, and I'll probably grab your attention, if not the six-sided ring. He was like he was like the high standard of the X division. And, he was always prevalent, you know, whether he was X Division champion or he was, you know, he did become NWA champion one time before, and then he became tag team champion. Excuse me, with Daniels and Tomko. JJ was always prevalent, but when he finally became TNA World Champion, I remember reading reports. He was really not too happy with his reign because there was a point where he was coming across a weak champion. He was being booked to be a weak champion, always getting laid out. You know, never really like putting up a fight, and like so he just always getting laid out. And there was a report that he came up straight up to Russo and said, "You're booking me as a weak champion." And then he would go on to turn heel, still being champion. He started the whole Flair Jr. gimmick, and but Jay's always stayed prevalent in TNA, no matter what he was doing. And then always put on great matches. And then 2012 comes on around, and finally, they have a match where it's him versus Rude versus Storm, and the loser cannot get a shot at the TNA World Belt until the following year's Bound for Glory, and when AJ lost, it was almost like the culmination of all these setbacks. The funny thing was that both AJ and John Cena really had like this redemption thing almost going at the same time, but AJ's one felt more natural than Cena's. Cena's felt like they only brought it up once he was about to face The Rock again. Redemption. But with AJ, you were seeing it. Yeah, it's like he had that stupid Claire Lynch thing going on. He had Kazarian, turn on him. He lost that triple threat match, and it was like, oh, and then he lost to Daniels at the next following pay-per-view, and then like he went away, and that's when he started the whole lone wolf thing. So when he came back, immediately he was looked as like a wild card during like the Ace and A's main event Mafia feud. He almost played the Sting. And I would say almost. He basically did. Because there were times where I think he would be like up in the Raptor, just be standing, at the stage, not saying a word, and he wouldn't even do anything. But it would get everybody's attention. And then he would go on to win the Bound for Glory series and become TNA World Champion. But it didn't really last that long because, surprisingly, he would go on to leave TNA. And his final match was that highly overbooked match with Magnus. So we put all that together, it's like, will AJ have all the opportunities to have the matches that he did in his 10 plus years with TNA and WWE? That's why I think it's put in consideration, because mostly AJ's recognition has come from his high athleticism, his matches, not really necessarily what he does on the mic. Not saying that AJ can't get his point across, but that's never really been his selling point. His mic work. It's been what he does in the ring. That's how he's got the name. That's how he got the name, the Phenomenal One. So it'll be pretty. It'll be pretty interesting to see, in his first full year, because you can basically count. Yeah, this is his first full year. He came in January, so his first full year in WWE compared to his first 2 years. Okay, he's like already. If you can say like, yeah, he's already being better than TNA, being booked better than he was in TNA, and that would be saying something. Okay, also Johnny say, I hope we see Finn face AJ where the winner becomes the leader of the Bullet Club. Your thoughts? Well, excuse me. I think it's needless to say that the Bullet Club will rear its head in WWE somewhere down the line, because I think WWE just got the rights to the Bullet Club. So I don't see WWE getting the rights of something but not using it, and it's something still current. I would not see the point of them doing that. You buy the something, the current name, or you buy like a current product, but you don't even use it, and it's a high like product. The Bullet Club has been probably the most overstable in the past couple of years in all of wrestling. You see, like I said one time in the corner, you see their shirts everywhere. Heck, on this past Raw yesterday, there was a kid that Kofi or something. I think he didn't have a Balor Club shirt. No, he had a Bullet Club shirt, and his dad, I think if that was his dad or uncle, had a Bullet Club shirt too. So I think it's needless, like I said, it's needless to say that the Bullet Club will rear its head in WWE. I don't know what will be the execution of it, and it would be pretty interesting that when Finn and AJ do cross paths, it would be pretty that it is over the Bullet Club, because remember, the Bullet Club was initially Finn's group. Finn is the mastermind of the group. That's his brainchild, the Bullet Club. But when he left, AJ took the reins. So it'll be pretty interesting, but I think it'll be a situation where the whole, I guess, power struggle between AJ and Finn, if they did go that route, it would be more of something, unless WWE really went into full detail and really did some backstory in the Bullet Club. Unless they did that, it would be something that uh, a non-casual fan will really understand. Because if they just have the Bullet Club, just come and it's Finn and AJ, I was leader of this group after you left. I took the reins, now you back off. It's been a long time since you even been a member of the Bullet Club. It's your group. It would be something that if they go into that, a casual fan might be like, I don't know what's going on. I guess there's some power struggle, but I don't know if I'm too I'm not even sure if I'm too invested, because I probably don't even know. I don't even know what's going on. They'll probably have to, ask a buddy that's really, that knows about the Bullet Club. Okay, what's going on here? Because there's been some storylines, and I read that Vince Russo was very infamous for it. He'll do a storyline where it was solely catered to, basically the internet wrestling, people that knew the inside stuff. They'll be the only one that would get it, while a casual fan be like, you're bringing up this stuff back in 1990 or 98 as if I'm supposed to know. And it's like, well, I can't really react to it because you're making it seem like something I'm supposed to know, but I don't know. I guess most of, that's why sometimes work shoots. I guess that's why sometimes work shoots they get they get over well, and sometimes they don't, because sometimes you see these work shoots where they're bringing us stuff where you're like, I don't even know if I care about it because I don't even know about it. But there's some work shoots that, okay, All right, there's something that is kind of relatable. I can understand. Like CM Punk's, and I'm not trying to, pander to CM Punk, but CM Punk's, he wasn't bringing up um, like something that was so like only a person that really follows, dirt sheets or so can really understand. He was letting out his frustration. The only thing that he really brought up, one thing that he brought up was like a backstage when he talked about when he first won the ECW championship, and Cena was like, you finally made it. Yeah, I didn't know about that until Punk brought it up. But the way he brought it up, he basically was like letting people know, like, this is something John Cena said to me back to, so it's like, okay. But I'm just saying that why I can see that happening between Finn and AJ, and I think if done in a way, it could. Oh, what thought that I'm gonna say without flying. And done in a certain way, it could probably alienate, casual fans. And casual fans do matter too, and you want them to be, invested in any storyline you do. I would like to believe. So if you really just pander to, people like, I guess, like us that know about the Bullet Club, that know a little bit more about New Japan than the average wrestling fan would, then it's like, you're only getting that side that's invested, not everybody. I think that sometimes is the price of doing something that's like very, doing a storyline that's very in depth for only people basically it was in depth outside of the company that was in. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But well, at this point, it's like a lot of you know who the Bullet Club is, and they've probably seen the shirt, so they probably looked up and, oh, that's what AJ Styles was doing when he was in Japan, or, oh, that's what Finn was running when he turned heel in Japan. But still, like I said, you never know. It could alienate casual fans if done a certain way, where they just bringing up a lot of stuff that, like I said, only somebody that truly follows would know. Okay. John predicted Brock and Dean will happen. Yeah, man, I would like to see Brock and Dean happen. John, you also say, I think the best match for AJ would be Seth, but I think AJ should be a heel in the match. I mean, when I think of AJ Styles versus Seth match, I think, yeah, Seth would be one of the better opponents for AJ. But me, I think because I've seen AJ Styles heel. I've seen him be the goofy comical heel that he was when he was with Tomko, Prince AJ and everything. And be basically like the cocky heel when he became Flair Jr. and then was part of Fortune. And then to be like this, this rough and, rugged and in your face heel when he went with the whole Lone Wolf and then again went to Japan. But I think to get more heat, I see that more being Rollins. That's why I would see Rollins more being the heel. Because personally, for me, besides, Prince AJ and so, even with that, I'm not too big of a fan of AJ as a heel. I like him as a face for a couple of reasons. Because as a face, he's more willing to do. Well, I'm not saying it wrong. I think that's the wrong trade word. You'll see more of, his athleticism, or more of, because when he gave him the whole lone wolf thing, he kind of, became more of a striker. He's more of a striker. So it was like that kind of catered to being a heel, striking and ground base, and every once in a while pull off one of his phenomenal feats. But and then also AJ's a great seller. So, and that's one of the best things as a face you should be able to do. And I've heard a lot of wrestlers. I've heard JR say that, I believe Jake the Snake, the sell. And AJ knows how to sell pain. Get that sympathy. And speaking of sympathy, I'm just going to say right here, my sympathy goes out to Bret Hart and even in the Hart family. For those of you that don't know, as of yesterday, Bret Hart has officially announced that he's battling pancreatic cancer, which is cancer is no joke to begin with, but I believe pancreatic cancer out of all the cancer is really no joke. And just gonna say, when I got the information on that, and these days when you get a report on it, it's best to just search up to make sure to see if it's true, it's factual. And when I typed in Bret Hart, and immediately ESPN.com comes out with the whole article about Bret Hart announcement. I mean, it hurt. I didn't grow up with Bret Hart like my brother Chris did. Brother Chris grew up with Bret Hart. He even had his glasses at one point before our dad broke them. I didn't grow up with Bret Hart, but I didn't have to appreciate what he brought to the wrestling business. When I watch a Bret Hart match, I learn a lot of stuff. I see stuff that I'm like, why it's not done in wrestling days. It's like almost like it was ahead of its time. Some spots that Bret would do, some technical spots, the storytelling. I always say, you can learn a lot by watching a Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart match. I'm not talking about like them going against each other, but no, just a Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels match. Especially when Shawn came back in 2002. You can learn a lot from their matches. So my heart really goes out for Bret Hart and the Hart family. I know Bret would want to see. I know Bret hopes to see Owen again, but I don't think in this sort of fashion. I don't think like this, with cancer. And so yeah, heart goes out for Bret. I hope he wins this battle. I hope that it. Since he's now announced, it makes me wonder how long was he diagnosed with this? He just didn't tell anybody, because if he just found out and he's finally come to grips after like 2 days or so, and he just died, and he just he's just been diagnosed. He's now finally letting everybody know about it. So basically, they caught it early. Hopefully, that is the case, that they caught it early. So there's a high probability that he's going to beat it. Because unfortunately, with with Lemmy, from Motorhead, when he passed away, he had found out about the cancer 2 days before he passed. So it was like, I think a day or 2 days before he passed, that he finally got diagnosed that he had cancer, and then like he dies right after he gets, like a couple of days right after he finds out that he had it. So that's why it's always scary. So I really hope that they caught this pancreatic cancer at the right time, early. I really hope Bret really pulls it back. We really can't afford. So far, we really can't afford to lose another legend. So far in 2016, it's in just the whole month of January, we lost like legends. And mostly all the musicians and one actor, but still, we lost Natalie. We lost Natalie Cole. We lost Lemmy. We lost David Bowie. We lost Alan Rickman. It's like, what the hell? So it's just like, oh man, already like the year just started. I think a day after New Year's is when Natalie Cole passed away, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, man, like, no, not Brett, man. Not anybody else. I know people, have to, leave this earth from leave this earth, but it's just like it's just already too much. Already too much that you just keep hearing legends just passing away over cancer or something, or it's just like, come on now. So once again, my heart goes out for Brett and the Hart family. What would you do with Ziggler, you ask, John? What would I do with Ziggler? Um, he got a win over Kevin Owens. I really don't know what that means for Ziggler. And that's pretty unfortunate that he gets a win over Owens, but it's still questionable what does that mean for him in the future. That's basically been the position Ziggler's been in for a while. It's like every time it looks like he's gonna, get some push, he's in the back in some position where it's like, what are they really doing with Ziggler? Like I say, he's always getting noped. It's like, oh yeah, Ziggler, nope. Yeah, he gets noped like constantly, and then he cuts this impassioned promo about being held down. And it's like he did this twice now, but it never leads to anything. So it's like you kind of cut that almost for nothing. It's almost like it's like a work shoot, but there's no follow through. John, what was the? But that would do with Ziggler. Ziggler is highly talented. The fans like him. I would like for him to be considered, a candidate for, if not a, if you guys not gonna push, if he's not gonna be pushed as a main eventer, then I wouldn't mind him being an upper mid carder, a legitimate upper mid carder. So it's still sad that he took a loss to Heath Slater, almost a perennial jobber, then that kind of like kicked off the social outcast thing. Waiting, John, for the rest of your sentence because just what was the just looking for that. But while I wait on that, I think it's about time to get on to the next the next segment of the corner. Once again, February is Black History Month. And so far WWE in the past years, I think they started back like in 2013 or even 2014. They started celebrating, Black History Month by showing. Oh man, I was yawning. By showing, showing like past, African American wrestlers, and from Ernie Ladd to the Junkyard, to the JYD Junkyard Dog, to Ron Simmons, to Rocky Johnson, to I believe they had a Rock. They did one for Rock, to Booker T. They did last night. They did one for Mark. I think this was the first time they did one for Mark Henry, or did one they showed it, on Raw with Mark Henry. So I wanted to talk about Cause me and Chris have touched on it in the corner before, but I don't think it's ever really been like an actual main subject. It's been when it's been brought up in the comment section, and we've like divulged into it. So, one of the most talked about, and I put in the description, prevalent subjects in WWE lore has been the subject of Black WWE Champion. Mostly, I've never really seen a year go by where that has not been brought up. And WWE's been around for a long time. Long time. And, oh man. Oh, hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. I think I had to rejuvenate myself a little bit. Got some soda here. Even though try not to drink a lot of soda. And it's not because like I got some health complications. It's just best for anybody, Don't for your diet in terms of beverages, it's totally consumed by soda. It's not good for health reasons. But anyway, I was going about WWE's been around for a long time, and if we exclude the World Heavyweight Championship, WWE has never had a pure black WWE champion. They've had black champions, but they've never had a WWE champion. The WWE champion be somebody that's of pure black descent. And within that subject, within something that always comes with the subject is The Rock. Because somebody will always say, but wait a minute. The Rock's black. No, why doesn't nobody count him? And most everybody will refute it with, well, he's half Samoan. No, I can't even count The Rock black because he more caters to his Samoan roots. And they more cater to his Samoan roots than him being black. So it's almost like people try to manipulate even The Rock's own race as if, he's not black. He's more Samoan than he is black. When his father is black and also Canadian. The Rock is Canadian too, American Canadian, and Samoan. So his dad is black, and his mom is Samoan. So it's like he is black, but he's also he's Samoan as well. So there has been a black WWE champion, but once again, what seems to me is that when it's brought in discussion, fans more look at we want the pure black, not they have black descent, but it's also mixed with blah blah blah, another, you know, race or ethnicity. Uh, so, and then with that also leads to WWE's racist, you know, because they never had a pure black W. And then, you know, people go down. You know, you had your Shelton Benjamin. Shelton Benjamin. You had D'Lo Brown. You had all these guys that could have been. And it's like, well, Shelton, you know, highly talented. I was a big fan of Shelton Benjamin. Still am. You know, if he came back and was still doing what he did before he left, I would still be a fan of his. Could Shelton have been WWE champion? In ring wise, yeah, I think he could, but in the WWE, you know, when you're WWE champion, most of the time they like to put on the mic and put you on the mic a lot. And Shelton, his mic work was never the best. And you saw that a lot when he became a gold standard, when he was trying to get that over through mic work. And it just really wasn't, I guess, working with people. You know, who else you got? You know, Booker T. See, the thing with Booker T is that even when he was on Raw, even when he came to WWE, he was mostly going after the belt that he basically won already, the World Heavyweight Championship, which was the WCW belt. And when he came over to SmackDown, yeah, he could have won the WWE Championship against JBL. I would have liked it if he had won, but then again, mostly any championship match JBL was in at that time, I wanted to see him lose because he would never win by his own merit most of the time. But definitely feel Booker T. He was being WCW, being WWE, I think would have been a fine WWE champion without having to be King Booker. No, he could have just been Booker T. Even he won the World Heavyweight battle, you know, he could have just been Booker T and had won that. He had to be King Booker. Then you got Bobby Lashley, who I definitely feel that if Bobby Lashley had stayed, I think he would have been. I think he would have been the first pure black WWE champion. I really do. Even though because I thought he was going to beat Cena when they went against each other at Great American Bash, but he didn't. But even when he did, I'm still thinking that, you know what, there might still come a time where Bobby Lashley will win the WWE Championship, and if I think he would go on to become the first ever TNA black champion. Yeah, you know, people get on. People talk about with WWE, but TNA, but after they, you know, I think their deal or their settlement their deal with NWA ended because that's where R-Truth became champion when it was still the NWA championship. But once it became TNA World Championship, no, they didn't have a black world champion until finally, you know, till Bobby Lashley came. And originally, it wasn't going to be Bobby Lashley. Originally, I believe it was going to be MVP. But since MVP got legitimately hurt, they went with Lashley. And when I think about it, I think it should have went Lashley to begin because it was Lashley who kept beating Eric Young when Eric Young was champion, non-title matches or whatever. He was the one that kept beating him. But I think in WCW, besides Booker T and Ron Simmons, or I don't know if Ron said Farouk. I don't think there was anybody else that was that was black and a world champion. ECW, I think the closest they had was Taz. Well, you count Bobby Lashley when it came over to WWE, but the moment it was ECW. I believe it was Taz. I believe Taz is. I think Taz is black. I remember what Chris told me. He's always say he's black and Italian. I could be wrong, but I always felt Taz was mixed. You know, he was mixed with something. And I always felt it was probably black and Italian. I could be wrong. It could be something else in Italian. I think I know for sure it's Italian. But it always gone with the WWE that, you know, they're racist for they never had a pure black WWE champion. And it's like, well, there's others that haven't had it as well. Like I said before, but I guess when you look at it, it's because WWE's been around so long. I mean, no matter who you are, no matter what like new promotion you are, you're almost the WWE. WWE's an empire. Because they've been around for so long. So I guess when you put that extra, it's like how they've been around for this long, but they've had a lot of black wrestlers that were talented, but they never had a pure black WWE champion. I think that's what's put in consideration. That's when it comes down to, because the WWE's been around for so long. But people say they're racist. That's why I'm like, you just say they're racist. But I feel, and this is just me, if WWE was completely racist, even though we've heard instances of somebody being racist to somebody in WWE locker, so that's one reason why Del Rio got fired. Because the person that basically got him fired said a racial remark to him. And then there was the whole thing with Michael Hayes. Me and Chris found out that Don Morocco used to say some racial things to people behind their back. But WWE's racist. Like, you just throwing that word racist, and just like I said, how I feel, if WWE was completely racist against black people, they really want to show they were racist, they wouldn't give any black person a championship, or they would just have them lose. Like, hey, you just got a little bit of black in you, lose. You're not getting a belt. R-Truth's a jobber. I don't look at he's a jobber because he's black. I just like he's just a jobber because they just don't know what to do, or they see his upside is down. Same thing for Titus O'Neil, who I think is on the verge of a push. I could be wrong, but look like they're starting to push Titus O'Neil again as a singles wrestler. But Bobby Lashley, if they were really ready, Bobby Lashley never even came close to being something in WWE. He would have been like, why is this guy who's in great shape and so athletic, he's not just big, but he's highly athletic, is losing a lot, or he doesn't even get a chance at the belt. Like, I think if WWE really want to show they were racist as people are saying because they don't have a black WWE champion, a pure black, then that's what they would be doing. And Eddie Guerrero wouldn't even won the belt because he has Latino descent in it. Rey Mysterio would never won the belt. If they were just so racist against other race besides being Caucasian, then Tajiri would never got a belt. He would never got the cruiserweight belt. I'm trying to think who else. Jazz would never became a multi-time women's champion. Heck. Trying to think of somebody else. Shelton would never became Intercontinental champion, or tag team champion, United States champion. Mark Henry damn sure would never became worldweight champion back in 2011. It took 15 years. That's how I feel. We live in a time. I can understand people wonder, okay, how did they had all these I mean, they had a lot. Did they have a lot of black wrestling back then? Yeah, they did. And it's like, man, that's kind of interesting. They've never had a pure black WWE champion. The only one that come close because he's got black in him is The Rock. So I can understand people like, oh, that's kind of weird. But we live in a time and age where words like racist or sexist or just thrown around so freely that it's almost like you just throw this word around, and most of the time you don't even have no real concrete proof of it, but because you feel that this one instance, that's the case. Because I always feel is accuse somebody to be racist or sexist or heck, even a rapist or so. No, like you're gonna accuse somebody that you better have some strong proof. You better be able to back it up. And by the way, no, this was not influenced by Spike Lee and them trying to boycott the Oscar, the Academy Awards. I don't even watch the Academy Awards or anything, but no, this has nothing to do with that. This was not influenced by that. But John, you say I think Apollo Crews could be the next, but Apollo Crews I think could be if Apollo Crews he come in the main roster and he's protected. I think Apollo Crews could be that first pure black WWE champion. The funny thing is that for those that know Rosenberg, he does radio for Hot 97, but he's a big wrestling fan. And you can go on YouTube and watch his videos, his interviews with wrestlers. When he interviewed Biggie during, I think, WrestleMania season, I think 2000 and I think it was 13 or 14. I think I'm trying to remember the year it was. Either one of those years. Wait, hold on, guys. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I'm trying to remember. I was talking about. I know about the right. Oh, but yeah, Rosenberg was talking with Biggie, and Rosenberg basically brought the subject of Black WWE Champion, and he brought the whole thing about the Rock. How people don't count the Rock because he's Samoan and half black. And I always like what Biggie said about on the subject. He said, the idea has always crossed his mind. I think even him being that, but he doesn't want it to be the situation where it's just done for the sake of it. It's like, well, we're under pressure for not almost like we're under pressure for not having one. So here you go. We just did it just for the sake of it instead of no. You earned you earned this opportunity to be the champion of our company. Here you go. I always like that Biggie said that because for me I don't even want it. Well, they just gave it to anybody because people be like, oh, well, they don't have a pure black champion. Oh, you just gave it to anybody. I joked with Chris before. It's kind of insulting to the guy, but it's like in 2005, if they did it, they just gave the belt to Orlando Jordan. Well, Orlando Jordan, really? And be like, okay, you just did it for the sake of it because Orlando Jordan, especially in 2005, was nowhere in the level of being a main eventer, no, a W champion, much less a main event. So yeah, I just don't want it. I just don't want to be for the sake of it. Like, oh, well, I'll take anybody because they're black, because they look like me. Oh, it's like how Michael Caine said, you know, for those situations, like you just can't vote for them because they're black. Like, well, he wasn't that very good actor, but because he's black, oh yeah, you know, he deserves to be nominated. So I was like, no, you know. So it's like same thing for champions. Not like, oh, well, I'll take anybody, you know, if they're black. I don't care if they're that good in the ring or they suck. They suck on the mic. They suck in the ring. But because they're black, you got to give it to them. No, I don't want it to be like that. Um. Okay. You also asked baddest storyline you ever saw. To me, it was Katie Vick. Try not to really remember too much about Katie Vick, but I basically said one of the bad storylines, that Claire Lynch storyline from TNA. That was a horrible storyline. Heck, even Aces and Eights. Aces, you know, if you look in the whole grand scheme of things, Aces and Eights, my opinion, that was just bad. John, I hope to see Cedric come to W for Ring of Honor. Oh, Cedric Alexander, you know, for some reason, I think if he was to come over and he came over the main roster, I wouldn't be sure. I gotta put it. It'll probably be mid Carter. But he came on NXT, then probably it'll be um oh it'll probably be, fair game. It'll be like, okay, he might be a high commodity for NXT, but if he came over, he just went right up to main roster. It'll probably be a mid card. Never, maybe. Just my opinion. Could be wrong. John, do you think Mark Briscoe would be good for WWE to get? I think WWE should try to get the Briscoes. Period. On the main roster is not a rough and rugged team. The rough and rugged team is in NXT, and that's Dash and Dawson. And it should be the Ascension, but the Ascension or the Descension on the main roster. So yeah. So yeah, I would like to see, you said Mark Briscoe, but yeah, I would like to see the Briscoes, period, both of them. Okay, if John, if you don't have anything else for me, that I think that's gonna do it for this corner. I think that about covers everything. Um, so I'm gonna give you, probably a minute or two. If you have like one more question before I close this out. But yeah, I just wanted to share that, with you guys, how I feel about, uh, the subject of Black WWE Champion, pure black. Yes, it's something that I would like to see, um, because I am all for diversity, but I just don't want it be done for the sake of it. Like it's just given to anybody. Just okay, they're black, and okay, now we can say that yeah, we got a pure black WWE champion. We not really taking consideration of who it is, or I don't want it to be just for the sake of it. I don't. I just don't. Because it's like how Michael Caine said, it'd be like me. It's like how he said, the whole thing about, um, you know, with the whole Oscars thing. Even I don't want it to be, well, let's say Like I said, oh well, out of all the actors, let's say, well, he wasn't very, he wasn't the best one. But wait a minute, he's my race. He has to get it because it. I know it's about you having a great performance, but he has to get it because he's my race. But so, yeah. All right, John, what would you do with? Okay, here we go. What would you do with a double? Okay, I guess this is John's final question. Just gotta wait for it. You gotta wait for the rest of it. What would you do with a double? It's spelled D-U-B. I like bubble, double bubble, double bubble. Just gonna still waiting. Still waiting. What you do with a double? I'm even trying to think. What's the rest of the question? What would you do with a double? John, do you have the rest of that sentence? That question. Because I'm trying to close this corner out. Okay, yeah. See, I should have thought of it. What would you do with a double? Yeah, I should have thought. Yeah, okay, a double. I wasn't thinking that it was actually a nickname. Yeah, a double. We'll do it. Austin, since his debut in NXT hasn't aired yet, but that's how I put it. It's pretty simple. Just let a double be a double, and let him be a double, and just sit back and let him roll. See where it goes. Let him fail or succeed by him just being a double. Think that's what it is. Because quite naturally, he's going to be a top thing in NXT for whatever his tenure in NXT. But just let a double be a double. Let him be the greatest man to ever live. Just let him be a double. That's what I say to that. And thank you, John, for all your input and your questions. Thank you very much. So yeah, I just wanted to once again, I just wanted to share my thoughts on the whole subject of a black WWE champion. Something that subject that's always going to be in the wrestling world until the pure black W finally happens. But yeah, once again, for those that are watching, keep the support for Bret Hart and the Hart family. because it'd be a shame that we lose Brett because of cancer. We already lost a lot of other legends because of that damn cancer. And like I said before, I know Brett would like to see Owen again, but not in this way. Not because of cancer. With that being said, this was the Wrestling Corner, episode 17 of season 5, and this was Hokley 93, always in the place to be. And until the next corner, stay easy and peace.